Are we up?
Yep, and we're back in the match. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. The stream crashed for no apparent reason there, but we've held the match. You haven't missed anything. The match has stopped at the very point that the stream has stopped. We've asked the players to do so, and yeah, we backed. Acidic Slime destroyed his team vents, but was then dispatched by a Searing Spear from Max Schulze. Yeah, who now looks to be in a very good position against the Garrick.
Yeah, the Garrick is still gonna make a beast, so he can again block one Reckoner. Blocking the Reckoner proving not to be that efficient, especially the first strike, but it's gotta do something, can't take too much damage.
Yeah, Max Schulze still with yet another Searing Spear in his hand. Two Searing Spears still. Oh, definitely one.
Yeah, there's two. So what he could do is take out the beast and attack the Garrick, or
now he takes the Garrick.
Yeah, first strike.
Yeah,
can go with white or red.
Yeah, Jeremy needing some removal, non-damage based removal for as soon as he can. Some Dreadbores would be great for him. Yeah, Duress?
We'll probably see a response here. I think Jeremy will regret not using his Garruk before duressing.
Yeah.
Right, now we will probably see Searing Spear onto the Garruk. No using it because you can't use it at instant speed. There you see it.
Yeah, Garruk without the 3-3. So, oh yeah, okay, it was a Mizzy Mortar, so I was surprised that he would have a fourth Searing Spear there. We got rid of the Garruk, and with two Boros Reckoners, unless Jeremy Zani finds some removal, he wouldn't mind even Bonfire right now.
These Reckoners are so powerful. In this matchup, we've seen if Jeremy doesn't have the perfect answer right away, it's gonna start attacking, and there's not really a way to kill it.
Yeah, another Acidic Slime does destroy the Sulfur Falls. So bringing Max Schulze down to just one red source, but
still enough.
Yeah, and also attacks for two. Acidic Slime, while being a good card, especially against Assembled Legion, it matches up very poorly against Boros Reckoners, who now bash in for 6. And they...
Liliana, that's a start.
That's a good card. Yeah, it will deal with one of them unless Max has a counter.
Sure. Sacrifice. One of the Reckoners gone.
Now, can Jerry maybe raise this? If
he needs to attack, if he keeps back one of these two guys, well, he could have kept back the Acidic Slime, because if Max decides not to give first strike, then he loses his Reckoner. If he gives first strike, then he doesn't get the ability from the Reckoner. But decides to go for 4, put Max at 12.
Yeah. If Max now attacks the Liliana, he loses 3 damage. And Jeremy will get a little bit ahead in the life race.
Yeah.
And we saw Max already playing 3 Searing Spears, so probably not likely to draw another one, but he does have Snapcaster Mages.
He can draw Snapcaster Mage. He could just Harvest Fire, kill his opponent out of nowhere. We've seen that today before.
Oh yeah.
Is a charm, kill the 2/2 Death Touch.
Yep, goes for the Liliana there.
Seems like he's having a lot of lands.
Another land here.
Both of these players have drawn a lot of lands.
Yeah, they have.
Jeremy really hoping for Kessig Wolfram actually.
Kessig Wolfram would be, if Max attacks now.
That means he drew something. I think. Yeah,
he drew Restoration Needle?
No, he drew a Sphinx Revelation.
Wow. That's a good card to have. But I also think there's a Supreme Verdict and a Sphinx Revelation. Probably look to Revelation.
Draw 2 cards. Nope, goes for the Supreme Verdict. Well, if he goes down to 4, there's a risk of Jeremy drawing something very Abrupt Decay. Good, would have been good.
Yeah, would have been good. So
now not so good.
Yeah, good Supreme Verdict there from Max.
Just one turn too late, he thinks by himself. If I would have drawn it a turn earlier, I could have let my Liliana live.
Yeah, and Max was maybe thinking, well, if I draw a land, I can Revelation for 3, which is so much better. And if I draw something else, I might hold on to on the Revelation. I don't need to play it right now. Was that a Snapcaster Mage?
No, it's a land. Takes 2. Signaling Sphinx Revelation for 3.
Yeah, Jeremy Dizani, he can still draw something like Ragdos Return.
Ragdos Return off the top would be
devastating.
Would be game.
Yeah, Max could still reply with a Revelation for 3.
Yeah, but he would get loses the cards.
All those cards, as well as taking tons of damage.
I believe there's 2 of them in the sideboard.
Yeah, one in the sideboard.
2 main deck, 1 in the sideboard. So
That's-
he's looking at.
He's set up pretty well against control. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's why Max is running those assemble legions.
Staff of Nim. That's a good draw too.
It's a very good draw. Yeah, there's confirming the life totals. 7 to 6. Will we see Stefan pinging?
Yeah, we will see this. Draw extra cards.
Yeah.
Ping your opponent down. There you go. Good draw.
Yeah. And Max Schultz doesn't like the look of that.
No, he doesn't.
I can understand. Yeah, here's the revelation for 3.
Goes up to 9, potentially 8 with the
Yeah.
Staff of Nim. Restoration Angel, land, Pitting Needle.
Pitting Needle. That's interesting, but Pitting Needle would disable the 1 damage ability from Staff of the, but not the drawing. So, and the best card, yes. So Max Schultz just passes the turn.
Pitting Needle probably brought in against the Planeswalkers, not against Staff of Nim.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There we see Garruk. Still the Abrupt Decay in Jeremy's hand.
Yeah, where does Jeremy go from here? His place, you would want to play it slow or fast?
Well, yeah, it's difficult. He's got the Staff of Nim, so he got himself a mini Fire Action Arena, which can ping his opponent. But Max might draw a Sphinx Revelation and then get back into the game right there.
Yeah, with Jeremy only a Forest and an Abrupt Decay in his hand, he plays out the land, knows that a Keswick Wolf Run would also be very good for him right
There we
now.
go, Staff of Nim and Garruk's 2 very powerful cards. Basically, the benchmark of the Jund deck. Powerful, solid cards. Planeswalkers or creatures.
Here's the Restoration Angel we talked about.
Jeremy potentially at 4 life after an attack.
Yeah, Max, will he go for the
Another angel. So if Jeremy doesn't draw anything now, he's actually dead.
Yeah, but Jeremy does have a few outs. He can draw a ton of cards there. He will probably Pitting Needle on Garruk so that he doesn't draw 3 cards here.
Now he looks at his Abrupt Decay. Phew!
Yeah.
I can destroy this Pitting Needle and I can still use my Garruk.
Yeah, the Pitting Needle on Garruk. Yeah, Abrupt Decay immediately on the needle.
Not really what he was putting them in, but he wanted to destroy the Reckoners, but once these Reckoners are gone...
Draws 2 cards, Farseek and a land, so he will definitely draw 3 off of that Garruk. He doesn't know about the Restoration Angel in Max's hand.
But like you could play around Searing Spear here, but then again, if you play around Searing Spear, you're dead anyway because he will just attack with Restoration Angel, Searing Spear you.
Yeah.
So you just gotta draw 3 cards.
Yeah. Jeremy Zani draws 3, no response. 3
These
cards.
will decide.
Yeah. Does he have the Wink Edition?
Olivia is good. And Liliana, perfect cards.
And he can play both.
Yeah, he can play both. He can even just play Olivia, steal the angel if he wants to.
Does he have enough mana to do that? Yes.
Yeah, he does. If he can play another land.
Yeah,
but
starts with Liliana.
Yeah, starts with Liliana.
Goes safe.
Sacrifice, please. Now goes with Olivia. First an attack.
For 3.
Max already at. He could play the Restoration Angel here, block the 3/3, but then he would lose his creature to Staff of Nim.
Yeah, exactly. Cannot do that right now, and also.
This is a great game.
Yeah.
We've seen these green decks, like there's the Reanimator deck, the Junk Reanimator, they play Mulch and Grizzly Selfish card advantage.
Yeah, Jeremy Zani in a great position. Yeah, Max Schultz didn't even have to play the Restoration Angel here because he still needs a top deck. He only has land in his hand.
Yeah, but you gotta try something.
Yeah, Restoration Angel.
Probably shooting it right now to make it 4/4, just so it doesn't die to Searing Spear.
Yeah, but then with Max no cards in hand, even that Searing Spear might not be enough. Maybe he will draw something better.
Harvest Pyre?
Harvest Pyre?
Could we see a Harvest Pyre?
On the Olivia, but then Max dies on the counterattack here.
Oh yeah, and Jeremy is still at 4, so...
Yeah, Max probably needs a Supreme Verdict, or a Snapcaster Mage for the Supreme Verdict.
Mizzium Mortars, Overload?
Mizzium Mortars Overload also. could be good, but it wouldn't kill the Olivia because it's a 4-4 and can grow up to a 5-5.
Oh yeah.
So what does Max Schulze do? Can he get out of the situation here?
Azorius Charm.
Doesn't show the card. Is it Azorius Charm?
He can cycle now.
Will he give himself another chance here? He has to think about it.
Looking
Will
if he attacks and put the blocker on top, but that's not gonna help him. He has to cycle here.
What can he do here? Cycle Azorius Charm. Yeah, so Olivia shoots the Restoration Angel. Stefan pings. We'll see, maybe there's a different card in his hand. Maybe a Sphinx Revelation. Leaves the Restoration.
We've seen Staff of Nim being crucial.
He
in
also
this
drew
game.
a Rakdos Return right now.
Yeah,
he has a lot of ways to go about.
So
this.
many powerful cards. Karuk, Liliana, Olivia, Staff of Nim.
Discard a card.
So many powerful cards.
Island, Farseek. Max Schulze with his last card. German Desani, he has more than enough damage between his hand and the board. But is it enough?
It's gonna be enough. There's not a card to come back here.
If Max actually manages to deal with Olivia, there's still the Beast and the Staff of Nin having problem. And we know German Desani has a Rakdos Return in his hand. Attacks with the 3/3 and the big Olivia. Doesn't take the Restoration Angel under control because it was pinged. It is a vampire, an angel vampire, as ironic as it sounds. It blocks the beast. Azorius Charm on top.
Rakdos Return.
Jeremy shows the Rakdos Return. Handshake? Yeah, Jeremy Desani goes on to the semi-finals, beating out Max Schulze from Germany. Max Schulze surely happy about his top 8 and his qualification.
He's still smiling.
Yeah, you can see he's smiling.
I'm going to the Pro Tour.
Yeah, he saw like in this game he didn't have a chance in these later stages.
He was close to winning at one point, but then he had some unfortunate draws.
Yeah.
Jeremy drew the Staff of Nim to come back into the game, draw 2 cards a turn.
Yeah. And here we have the bracket, which we will fix right away, because we know Jeremy Desani just defeated Max Schulze on the right side of the bracket, and he will go on to face on Rakdos Zombies from Andreas Nielsen. Here we go. Thank you, Rich. You're a magician, and it would be also great if you could move the name a little bit higher, just so it's nice. Sorry. I really like to have nice brackets. I'm sorry. Come on. Give me a thank you.
There we go.
No, not there. Come on. Rich.
Come on, Rich.
He's teasing us, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, back to the bracket. Yes, finally. All right, so Jeremy Desani on the right side of the bracket will face off against Andreas Nielsen on Rakdos Zombies. Andreas Nielsen showing us that life gain won't stop him.
Nope.
Removal won't stop him.
Nope.
He's gonna play his big bad Hell Rider, Hellkite, and Falconet Aristocrat and bash in for a ton of damage.
Maybe even Mark of Mutiny, some Track Tusk, sacrifice them myself to Falconet Aristocrat. Very powerful deck, this Rakdos Zombies. Very powerful.
Yeah, definitely a good choice for this metagame against decks that think, we'll have a little bit of life gain and so on, but yeah, I don't care. I'll just Hellkite over you, play my removal, and yeah, do what I can here. Also, on the other side of the bracket, Samuel Estrada defeated Tony Ramis Pascual, and he's on Naya Blades, and will be facing against Mike Krasnitsky, who upset Shahar Shenhar there, eliminating the Platinum Pro and going on to semis. Hey, hi, so welcome back to Grand Prix Verona. Top 8 in the books, top 4 coming up. We're still not finished. We'll definitely see at least 3 matches.
Yeah, these are the best matches, like
Yeah.
semi-finals, finals. Always exciting to see who comes up and wins the whole thing.
We had some great bubble matches. If you didn't manage to see them, make sure to check it out in the archives of this channel. After the tournament is finished, there were some great matches that we saw, and you can go check them out. But now we will focus on the top 4 here.
Top 4, Samuel Estradi.
Okay, at this point, we have Estrati against Krasninski and Jeremy Desani against Andres Nielsen. Who's your favorite to take it home?
1 second.
Okay, hold that thought. Right, so the players are on a little bit of a break. We're giving them a breather because these matches have been really interesting. So we'll show you the rest of the top 8 Marines top 10 that we've seen, already down to the final two decks.
2.5, I believe.
Yeah, 2.5 decks, and then we'll be back in around 10 or so minutes, and then we'll talk about the rest of the bracket and our favorites. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Purposes and Jay's memory adapt. Just finish up the control decks, have another chance to approach the matchup, and blue, white, red flash. I talked to a lot of people. There's a lot of blue, white, red flash in this room, and we'll see a lot of it.
And the master himself, Jerry Thompson, made his way all over to Europe just to play with his deck again.
Well, yeah, so top 2 incoming here. Number 2 deck on our list. What is it? John Midrange.
John Midrange.
It did really well at the Pro Tour in the hands of Owen Turtenwald.
Did well at the Grand Prix. There were 3 or 4 copies of it in the top 8 of the Grand Prix.
And more in the top 16.
Correct.
So an all-around solid deck. It's been in the metagame ever since Return to Ravnica came out. And why is it such a solid deck?
Basically because it plays the best cards in the format. It plays the best creatures in the format. Hunt Master of the Fells. It impacts the board greatly. Like 2/2, 2/2, and then if you don't play anything, it's gonna transform and kill a creature. Olivia Voldaren, if you don't kill it, it's gonna steal your creatures or just kill them. Track Tusk, like we've said before, all these creatures impact the board right away, and it's very hard to come over once they start deploying their creatures.
Yeah. And what makes these creatures stand out, I think, is what we've talked about before as well. It's when you're Jund, you have the selection of the best removal in the format, and this is what makes your good creatures shine so much more. When you can just kill a guy, kill another guy, and then a Thragtusk.
Correct.
What are they gonna do?
And we also see 2 Arbor Elf, not a card we used to see in Jund, but we've seen the formats, it's getting faster and faster, so they decided they want something on turn 1 just to ramp into something quicker.
Yeah, just ramping up to Handmasters was always good, always important. And speaking of ramping up, we've seen it in Modern, where Deathrite Shaman into Liliana was a big play.
Turn 2 Liliana.
Yeah, and turn to Liliana is also a possibility in this deck.
Esper Control, for example, is never gonna beat the turn 2 Liliana. They just can't handle it.
Yeah, even if they Detention Sphere it, which they run very few numbers of.
You still have Abrupt Decay to get of it. And of course Garruk, very good card. It makes tokens. If you think, they're gonna kill my Garruk, then just draw 5 cards. Thanks to Track Tusk, 5 power, you use the -3 ability, just basically draw 5 cards for 5 mana, which is awesome.
Yeah, and Planeswalkers give you that extra sustain against other decks, but it's also they're very good on the defensive. If you somehow stabilize the board, Liliana can kill another guy, and then start discarding their hand. Garruk can just you can put a 3/3 on the battlefield every single turn, and the longer the game goes, the more these powerful cards get.
All these cards we've seen so far are so powerful. Like, except for the 2 Arbor Elf, all these cards are very powerful.
Yeah.
And how do we get to these powerful cards?
Removal spells.
Removal spells.
Yeah, very nice.
The best colors for removal spells, so we can choose whatever we want. Some Tragic Slip to get rid of Falkenrath Aristocrat, some Museum Mortars, the Dreadbore. Maybe we need to handle a Planeswalker because that's kind of a problem for this deck. You can't counter the Planeswalker, so you need to get rid of it. Murder kills anything. Abrupt Decay
kills anything.
Kills anything.
Abrupt Decay also kills not only creatures, but the Detention Spheres you mentioned, the opposing Lilianas or other annoying permanents that you might have to deal with. Just a very solid lineup of removal spells, giving you a lot of flexibility.
And yeah, that's the advantage of green, black, red. It gives you the choices.
Yeah, and speaking of great X spells, I mean, we mentioned it when we talked about Frontline Medic, but Bonfire of the Damned,
Still very good.
it's still very good.
If it gets miracled, it's awesome. It's very hard to come by a turn 4 bonfire for 3, sweep your board, and even if you're holding it, sometimes you'll just at 3 mana just do it for 1 and kill all the mana guys.
Yeah, and even hard casting is not that big of a problem sometimes because you can often go turn 2 a Farseek into turn 3 some sort of removal spells or a creature or whatnot, and then on turn 5 you bonfire for 2, stabilize the board, move on.
This is basically the plan of the deck. Turn 2, either you kill a guy or you ramp into turn 4, 4 mana on turn 3, and then you just play some creatures, some very powerful creatures which your opponent will have to handle, and then you finish the game with these big guys, big spells.
Yeah, and the big spells, Ragdo's Return. I now understand why the control decks want to run Witchbane Orb. I wouldn't want to, as a control deck, I wouldn't want to be at the end of a Rakdos Return.
No, turn 6, for example, Ragdos Return for 4, it's gonna destroy their hand. They won't have a lot left. So they chose, like, Witchbane Off is very reactive, but even they know, the control decks know Ragdos Return is so powerful, so that's why they're running it.
Yeah, and also the worst case scenario is a big Ragdos Return killing a Planeswalker like Jace, which they board in, or maybe Tameo, or Jace, Architect of Thought, can be very devastating.
Correct.
And these decks do have to still run a lot of lands. Still, Kessig Wolf run, we've seen it.
Makes you run a little bit more lands than you kind of want to, but we've seen this deck is expensive. It needs its lands.
Yeah, another X spell, so to speak.
Even if you have a lot of lands, you get the X spells and you get Olivia, so you will be able to use your mana.
Yeah, you do want to play lands from all the way up to turn 6 or 8, just because you just want to get there.
And like we've seen the control decks, they run a lot of card draw, so they will draw their lands. This deck kind of dependent on their lands, so it needs to run a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely. The sideboard also, just overall, we see a little bits and bobs here. I quite like the addition of Acidic Slime, just because Witchbane Orb is...
Witchbane Orb, Assemble the Legions we've seen.
Staff of Nin we've seen.
Nephalia, Drown Yard, you need to kill. Like, another Ragdos Return, like most of these cards, they're very powerful once again, except for the Duress, which will help you get through these powerful cards. They remove a counter spell, then resolve an Underworld connection.
Yeah, and you will know what's up, so that's important. Graveyard Hate.
Just as every deck so far has 2 Graveyard Hate. So it's not a lot. It's what you gotta deal with. You can't waste 4 spells. No?
Yeah. And then some early removal in Pillar of Flame, Tragic Sleep, just to not fall behind too much in the early game, because it can happen. You can load your deck with expensive things, and what I like most about Jund is the fact that it's very modal. You can build it so many ways and still have a very competitive deck. You can turn it against control, turn it against aggro, and maybe have a transformational sideboard. There's a lot you can do with it because the selection of spells is fantastic.
Correct.
Now, moving on to number 1. A surprising deck. When I saw the list, I was surprised, but here we have Junk Reanimator. Why did you choose this list?
First of all, we've seen all the sideboards so far. In all the 9 decks so far, 2 Graveyard Hates.
Yep.
2 of them. It's not a lot. Second, this deck, it's not expected. Like all the other decks, they have proven something. They've been at the Pro Tour, at the Grand Prix. This deck, Junk Reanimator, kind of stayed under the radar. Been played a lot on Magic Online, but not a lot of people have caught up on it. So that's why I chose it.
Yeah, and I think it's solid. The start is right here. 7 1-mana acceleration spells. We saw the aggressive decks running, aggressive creatures in their 1 slot, trying to kill their opponent. Here, the plan is different, right?
Correct. And the advantage of these mana elves, all the aggro decks, they don't run a lot of removal. Like 4 Searing Spear in the Naya Blitz deck, it's not a lot. 4 Searing Spear in the Saito Gruul aggro, it's not a lot. So your 1-drops, they will probably survive, and they will ramp you into the important spells.
You don't mind them being destroyed by Searing Spear. It's actually a lot of value you gain there. And the only bad situation with which this can happen is like when you turn 1 champion into double Burning Tree Emissary and then Searing Spear,
right,
and you would be far behind anyway.
Correct.
So yeah, and do not fall behind. You've got this nice set of creatures we've seen
this is
already.
Band Control, or this is Junk Reanimator.
It is Junk Reanimator. Yeah, it is.
Like we've seen, gain a bunch of life, get you into the late game. Restoration Angel, just get back your centaur healer, get back the tractor. Very powerful. We've seen some acceleration, so these guys, the centaur healer will probably come on turn 2. Very hard to come by if you're attacking with 2/2s.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys are solid as you can get. You go from against aggro, against control. They're really solid. But speaking of big guys,
we've had one drops. We've had very solid life gain, some restoration angel to gain even more life, and then we've had some big targets because this is Reanimator. You know what's coming. Burial Rise is coming. So
it is coming,
we need some big we need some big creatures to reanimate, and like if you're running 7 1-drops that accelerate, Crater Hoof Behemoth, they turn into 5/5 these 1/1s, and they will kill your opponent. Angel of Serenity against Junt. I don't want to face this if I'm playing Junt.
No, definitely. This is one of the worst creatures you can face. Just not only can exile one of your best creatures, but it can exile the creatures in the owner of Angel of Serenity and just gain some card advantage. You will have to kill it sooner or later because otherwise it will kill you itself.
And the good thing is these are only 5 creatures, so it's not all in on the graveyard, not all in on the Reanimator, because we still got these 12.
Yeah, you can gain so much life and gain time just to get to those big guys. Just cast them from your hand. You don't have to reanimate them.
You don't have to. You will reanimate them if they handle it once, but you don't have to. You can just cast them.
Yeah, definitely. And this is really similar to the human Reanimator deck.
This is just why it's called Reanimator, because
basically,
it has SD card. 4 rights, Grizzly Salvage like gets you a creature, gets you a Traktusk, or if you need land, it will get you a land. Mulch sometimes gets you 2 lands, or even if it doesn't get you lands, it will mill you 4 creatures into the graveyard.
Oh yeah. It's so devastating. Playing against this deck can be so demoralizing sometimes. Because that Grizzly Salvage, you'll find a Centaur healer, put an Burial Rites and Angel Serenity in the graveyard. Turn 3, you play the healer. The opponent already knows the writing on the wall. It's very hard to deal with because there's no graveyard removal in the main decks. There's no incidental removal. And even killing Angel Serenity is tough sometimes.
Correct.
And Lingering Souls just giving you the added punch.
Correct. Then some lands, 1 Gavany Township. In Bochum, Yuza was playing more Gavany Townships, but this deck, it has a lot of solid creatures. It doesn't really need the Gavany Township. Like you've got 3 4s, you got 5 3s, you got 3 3s. You don't really need to pump them. So you better have good mana. Then you need to turn 1 green mana as well. So that's why only 1 township.
Yeah. Again, we see Cavern of Souls. Against some of the control decks, hard casting Angel of Serenity is where you want to be at.
You name Angel, you can. Restoration Angel is uncounterable. Angel of Serenity is uncounterable. Even calling Beasts, Greater Hoof Behemoth, uncounterable.
Yeah, and swing for a lot of damage. It's really hard to deal with.
A very powerful deck, and we've seen it's Reanimator, but it doesn't have its graveyard. If you don't have the graveyard stuff, it's fine. You can cast.
Exactly. Yeah, you still have a lot of game even when you don't use the graveyard. It doesn't have too many dead cards on its own.
Correct.
Just because they're all really solid and you can just do whatever you want with the creatures in attacking or blocking, and doesn't constrain you to combo off, so to speak.
Another reason why I like this deck for Acidic Slime. If you see Cavern of Souls against the decks with Supreme Verdict, you want to cyber out some Order Elf because you don't want to overload the board with stupid 1/1s. So you will bring in some extra lands, and then for Acidic Slime, you name Ooze, it's uncounterable, destroy a land. You put another Cavern of Soul, name Angel, Restoration Angel, another land with Acidic Slime.
Yeah, it's very good. I really like the addition of the Cavern of Souls in the sideboard, as well as giving you uncounterability. It gives you extra lands in the matchups where you need them. And
then a package against the aggressive decks.
Yeah, definitely Rock's Fatemender and some removal
Just some
spells.
more life gain.
Fatemender is just so ridiculous with the Centaur healers and the Traktusk. It's so obnoxious. So yeah, so there you have it.
My top 10. That was my top 10.
Your top 10. I think we'll see all of these decks throughout the weekend.
Yeah, we will.
And just we've seen some aggressive decks. We've seen the Naya Blitz. We've seen. Yep. Hello and welcome back to Grand Prix Verona 2013. I'm Matej Big Z Zelka here with 4-time Pro Tour Top 8 competitor Marijn Liber. And we're here to cover the top 4.
Semi-finals.
Semi-finals, yeah. Finally, going down the wire. Here we have the bracket Mike Krasnitsky from the Ukraine playing against hometown hero Samuel Estrati on the right. Samuel again with heaps of fans around the feature match area, watching his every play and cheering him on. On the other side of the bracket, we have Jeremy Desani, Grand Prix Lyon champion from last year, from France, playing against Andreas Nielsen on Rakdos Zombies. Probably the most surprising deck we've seen in the top 8 as well as the top 4.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can carry on his good form to the finals.
Yeah.
Yes, Samuel Estrati, we saw him demolish Tony Ramis Pascual with his Nile Blitz deck. Let's see if it can prove successful against the Junk Reanimator deck from Mike Krasnitsky.
Similar matchup, but the Junk Reanimator deck it's a bit faster. It's got Everson's Pilgrim, Arbor Elf, so it can get into a fast Centaur Healer, 4 Centaur Healer, 4 Track Tusk, 4 Restoration Angel. So there's a bunch of life to be gained for Mike Krasnitsky.
Yeah, and in this matchup, the sideboarding very important as well, because those Rocks Fate Menders together with life gain can take the game out of reach for Samuel Estrati.
Abrupt Decay, probably some Deathright Shaman, because they're
Maybe,
still a solid blocker against Lightning Mauler.
Sure, why not? So we'll see how that turns out, and we'll try to bring as much of the other match as possible, but we'll see how the game goes, if they're fast, if they're slow. Knowing Samuel's deck, the games will be fast.
Yeah, blistering fast.
Yeah, here you can see the crowd watching on the big screen here in Verona. And the players have already shuffled up on their hands.
Arbor Elf,
Mike Krasnitsky mulligan to 6, it seems. Yeah. He plays, you can go. So take 2 Arbor Elf.
Off to quick start, gonna mulch on turn 2. Unbury your rights on turn 3 or 4. Might hit a fast Angel of Glorious Rise. What he's looking for in this matchup.
Yeah, Mike Krasnitsky got into the game as the top 8 is number 4 seed, so he is starting first because Samuel is the number 8 seed, upsetting Tony Ramis Pascual in the quarters.
Mulch. Oh, double.
Oh wow!
He doesn't even mind not hitting a land. He has 2 in hand, and he has another Arbor Elf. Oh, Everson's Pilgrim. So next turn he's reanimating already one of these Track Tusks.
Turn 3 Track Tusk? Must be nice.
Turn 4 another one.
Yeah, Samuel Estrati didn't even play a 1 card, and we already know he's in trouble. And he does seem to have a pretty good hand.
But Lightning Mauler against Track Tusk? What's
happening? That's not. Those don't match up very good for Samuel. So he will probably go for Temple Garden into Burning Tree Emissary, maybe even 2.
With Searing Spear, but not what you want to spend your second turn on in an aggro deck. You just want to put on some creatures. Oh, he is looking for Searing Spear.
Yeah, actually, he starts off with the Searing Spear right off the bat. Wow, I wouldn't have expected him to go after the land after the mana creature so fast.
He saw the mulch not hitting a land, so he might have been expecting.
Yeah, there was still Mike Krasnitsky doesn't have a white mana.
There we see the double Track Tusk. Oh, now he hits a land with the Grizzly Salvage. Could even go for Everson's Pilgrim if he wants to. Might be safer to go for a land. I don't know. We'll see what he takes.
Yep, goes for the safe land. Yeah.
Puts it into play, not telling his opponent he has another one in hand by playing the one he hits.
Yeah, and swings for 1 with the Arbor Elf. But Samuel now, will his deck kick into overdrive? Oh, he drew an Experiment 1. That could be good.
Yeah, kind of too late. You just want Experiment 1. It's a 1-drop. If you need it in play before your other creatures come into play.
Yeah, it does look quite bad for Samuel, but he has a full hand. Okay, that's a Gorkan Rampager as well.
You can actually play 3 creatures this turn. You can now play the Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah, there we go. Still Lightning Mauler, pair up, hit for 4. And then next turn he will have both Gorkan Rampager and Mayor.
Yeah.
But still the Track Tusk.
Yeah, the problem is Track Tusk, and then again Track Tusk, and then again Track Tusk.
And then again Track Tusk.
Mike Krasnitsky just wants to get into the grindy game.
Oh, another Unbury Rights. Oh,
wow. Yeah, takes 2, doesn't mind.
No,
Unbury Rights.
It's not take 2, it's gain 3.
Basically gain 3 and put a huge beast in the way. And the worst thing for Samuel is the fact that he has the Gorkan Rampager, but he knows that I can trample over, but then there's a 3-3 beast and the Thractus comes back into play again.
Oh, there, he drew another Searing Spear, so he can actually kill the Thractusk.
He doesn't have enough red mana, so he will probably go for Mayor. And swing in with the team, go for the Rampager.
Rampager, get rid of the Thractus, but there's another one coming in, another one, and another one.
Yeah, what Samuel might also be looking at doing is maybe try to get more value out of the Mayor of Everbrook, maybe try to go for the Wolves and swarm the board for a later position.
Yeah, definitely. There we go, Gorkan Rampager.
So yeah, that's a ton of damage, but Mike on 17 will not.
Lightning Mauler surviving the attack thanks to the Mayor of Everbrook, making it 2 toughness. Rampager 6 toughness, doesn't die to Thractusk.
Yeah, and now Mike. Yeah, I will just. What can I do here? Go for a Thractusk.
Yeah. So he's doing the flashback one because he doesn't want his opponent to know he's got another one coming.
Yeah.
There we see the board. Thractusk, been in play for 2 times already. Some small creature. Don't pair up against Thractusk.
Yeah. We know that now Samuel still has a Searing Spear in his hand, but still, this situation, I think Mike Krasinski is now on 12 life. Not sure.
He's on 12 life.
Should be on 12 after that Thractusk ability, unless he missed it, which according to the new trigger rules can happen. But we'll get that update as soon as we can. So now Samuel with a Searing Spear and one more card in his hand. Yeah, there we go. Fist bump. Yeah, Samuel, his head in his hand, not in his head.
What he kind of has to decide here whether he wants to Searing Spear before the attack and kill the beast, so at least one more creature can get through, or does he want his Mayor to flip into a Hull Pack Alpha and start making some wolves?
Yeah, the problem is that Mayor of Everbrook flips on the opponent's turn, and you get your wolves at the end of your turn.
Yep.
So it is pretty slow, and it just looks. Yeah, he's offering up the trade. He doesn't know that. Yeah, so big trade. One beast stays in play. That Umbreon Rights from Mike will prove devastating when Samuel sees it.
And there's another one coming. And a Centaur healer. He's gaining so much life this game.
Yeah, those main deck Centaur healers really proving very good in this matchup. Wow, yeah, Samuel rolling up his sleeves, he knows he's got a big task ahead of him.
Oof. Another one.
Yeah, that he's certainly still in it with a shot. Searing Spear on the token.
Yeah, gotta get rid of them. Like,
Here's one more.
If you wait for your turn, you might have to play 2 Searing Spear, and then the Hull Pack Alpha flips again to Mayor. So might as well get the 3/3 out of the way.
So now Samuele conferring with the judge, maybe reaching for some wolf tokens. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
There he goes.
So Hull Pack Alpha at the end of your turn. Put a 2/2 wolf token into play.
Which is actually a 3/3 thanks to the ability of the Hull Pack.
Yeah, because Hull Pack Alpha also says other wolves and werewolves get +1/+1. So Samuel strategy actually now has a 2/1 Lightning Mauler and a 2 3/3s.
And what did Mike draw? Restoration Angel. Another Thractusk beast coming in. Gain 5. Put myself at 22.
However, we know Samuel has a Searing Spear in his hand.
We do know. Mike doesn't know.
Mike doesn't know. Yeah, that's why he's attacking with the Thractusk. We just can take nice chunks of 10 out of the life total.
Yeah. Samuel already at 15 thanks to his 3 Shocklands.
We'll probably want to trade here. Doesn't mind. Yeah, here comes the Restoration Angel. Yes, Samuel.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. No,
this isn't happening.
Yeah, so just Searing Spear traded for his Thractusk. Now, actually, the board has even up. However, there's still an Unburial Rights in the graveyard.
Yeah, but Samuel does have the Hull Pack. Like, he's got some late game plan. Something we hadn't expected from the Naya Blitz deck. Usually it's blistering fast, but thanks to Mayor having a Hull Pack Alpha other side, transforming, now just making 2/2s every turn.
Yeah. An update on the other bracket. Jeremy Dizani is down a game on Andres Nielsen, who did manage to get his zombies to be aggressive enough to take the game down. Speaking of aggressive, that's not going to be the word in this match. Another
Well,
Thragtusk.
at least not this game.
Yeah, not yet.
We do see Crater Hoof Behemoth waiting to get in there.
Yeah, but still, Mike Krasnitsky only on
5 plus Arbor Elf, so 6 already. One more turn and there might be Hoof. There it is.
yeah, but Mike Krasnitsky now on 22. Similar strategy had to work through 3. Oh,
4.
now it's now that's the 4th Thragtusk that's come into play. Already wasted a few Searing Spears there, and now Mike at 22 life has a lot of time. And Samuela with his wolves from the Halpag Alpha, can he make something happen here? 3 mana, Frontline Medic.
Now we can start. He might be able to start attacking.
Yeah, he might even attack with everything. He's only on 15, but that Lightning Ball will probably not attack.
No, he has to attack with 3 creatures. So
Yeah.
the Frontline Medic, the Halpag, and a 3/3. Well, 2/2 Wolf that is actually a 3/3. But then again, he has to be careful that he doesn't die on the attack back.
And the problem is there's the Restoration Angel is in the way, and if in Mike's place, I would definitely just if someone attacked with the Lightning Mauler, just block the Mauler with the Thragtusk and crash in for 5 in the opposing swing, leaving back Restoration Angel, and the Thragtusk will take out the chunks really fast.
Yep. So there we see Samuele thinking about his attack. He has to be very careful that he doesn't die on the counter attack. Thinking about can I miss these 4 if I attack with these 4? Ain't I dead? Let me see what happens.
He will get a wolf at the end of his turn because
that's
his
true.
Alpag Alpha will survive, so he doesn't need to be as scared.
This is so great. This is a 2 mana creature and a 3 mana creature. Putting up a fight against Thragtusk.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Battalion. And the werewolf side proving to be very crucial in this game. Something we hadn't expected actually. I was thinking, turn 4 kill for Samuel. We've seen this before. No.
Yeah, here we go. So the 2 wolves, Halpag Alpha and the Frontline Medic, triggering the battalion, getting in. It's a lot of damage potentially.
Surely is. Mike's still at a healthy 22, but we see Samuel. He's aware. Crater Hoof Behemoth. He knows that it's in the deck, so he gotta make sure he gets in enough damage. So Mike has to start chum blocking.
Yeah, we see, as we've seen before, Medico di prima linea from Samuel Estrati, the medic of the front lines, or the first line. Yeah. Oh, right. So Mike Krasnitsky actually blocks with his Thragtusk and his Restoration Angel, drops down to 16 from the attack, gets a token from the Thragtusk, another Unburial Rites. Wow.
Well, these Unburial Rites, they're good, but they're not. What is this? He's losing to Halpag Alpha. He's losing to Frontline Medic. Thragtusk is not good enough against Naya Blitz.
What's happening here, right? Mike definitely needs some more gas here. He was probably looking at something like Angel of Serenity.
Angel of Serenity could get him back into the game right there. Like get rid of the Frontline Medic and the Halpag Alpha.
Yeah, and the board seems much less threatening, just like that. But as it is, Mike Krasnitsky has an Unburial Rites in his hand. Not much else going on there.
Mike has to start thinking about attacking. If he keeps them back, his creatures on defensive mode, they're not that good because of the Frontline Medic making all of Samuel's attackers indestructible. However, on defense, his creatures aren't indestructible. So Mike has to start thinking, I have to get in some damage.
Yeah, Mike Krasnitsky actually in a tough shape right now, because if he lets someone untap and swing again, every turn it will be 3 extra damage from yet another wolf token, which also always leaves one guy back in case something happens. Yeah, Behemoth, Unburial Rites, only 6 mana. Already we've seen Samuel Estrati successfully battling through 4 Thragtusks entering play. Well, 2 Thragtusks, each one having 2 appearances.
There we go, Mike thinking. He's aware that he needs to start attacking. He's just thinking, how many creatures can I miss here? Can I attack with the Angel as well? Because the Angel is is a 3/4, so it blocks a 3/3 for free.
Yeah, it's the best blocker.
But it's also the best attacker.
Yeah.
Because it's a gut flying, so might be the time to start attacking there.
Yeah. While Mike Krasnitsky thinks about it, if you haven't yet, you can follow us on Twitter. There's an opportunity to do that right now until Mike decides what to do. He's going aggressive.
Yep, it's what I would have done in this situation. He knows Track Tusk is coming back. He's going up to 21. He gets in 6 damage, so put Samuel at 9. There we go, Track Tusk. Once again,
yes.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Not so much. Oh dear me. 5th appearance of a Track Tusk. Can Samuel draw something great here?
And by putting up some pressure, it makes the Crater Hoof Behemoth better.
Yeah.
If he finally draws 2 lands, then the Crater Hoof Behemoth can come in. There we go. 2, 3 attackers, 4 attackers. Let me think this through.
Yeah. Samuel definitely has to think about how he wants to approach this. If he swings with all of them, he's already that Umbreon Rise again proving very good. I really like the way that Mike actually decided, yeah, I'll just have to kill you by attacking, and these Track Tusks, the life gain and the block should prove enough in the long term. And Samuel needs a card real fast.
No, like the Track Tusk, it's gonna block now, gonna make another 3/3.
Yep.
That's already 3 beasts and the angel. So next turn, gonna get back again,
Yeah.
get 5 life. Just such a close game actually. Like
Yeah,
we wouldn't have expected it. We saw turn 3 with the double Arbor Elf. We thought, oh, turn 3 Track Tusk. Mike is taking this game so easily. We saw the Searing Spear on one of the elves, so everything got delayed a turn. But now Samuel is still fighting, despite a 5th Track Tusk.
The problem is that Samuel knows that no matter what I do here, there's another Track Tusk. It's going to be in my face in the following turn. How do I deal with that?
There we go.
Swings with all of them.
Everything
Battalion.
attack.
All of Samuel's creatures are now indestructible thanks to the frontline medic.
3, 6, 9, 12 if he doesn't block. He can take 12, but you just want the Track Tusk to be in the graveyard just to come back again.
He has a spare one as well since the whole game. He has 2 Track Tusks from the start.
But he just wants to block and get a free 3/3. Save himself some damage, I think. That's what I would do here.
Yeah.
The Track Tusk being a 5/3 or just a 3/3 beast doesn't make a big difference on the attack.
Yeah.
There we go.
The chump blocks the frontline medic.
Track Tusk chum blocking.
Yeah, gets a 3/3. Does Samuel have anything else? Will make a wolf in his turn. Yep, gets the wolf, passes the turn. Now we see there's Centaur Healer.
Crater Hoof Behemoth. And he's shuffling too fast. Mike, please shuffle a bit slower.
Yeah, he's trying to do his best Brian Kibler impersonation right now. We know he's the one who shuffles his card. Unfortunately, we only have the Swedish and Czech Kiblers this weekend here.
There we go. Attack again.
Yeah, and Lightning Bolt now has to chum block as well. Just to keep Samuel on 6 so he doesn't die to one single Restoration Angel attack. Because he could...
Oh, another Track Tusk. Oh, that's why we didn't recognize it. This is actually from the Lion King.
Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa.
Woohoo!
A special Ultra Track Tusk.
That's a sweet Track Tusk. This is another one.
So, Track Tusk appearance number 6.
Yeah, correct.
And number 7 coming next turn. Yeah. Pumbaa just runs in front of the frontline medic here. Gets another beast. This game has been solidly been the same over the past few turns. Samuel attacking. Now, yeah, trade of 2 beasts for 2 wolves. Samuel falls down to 3 from the Restoration Angel.
Yeah, there's just this Restoration Angel coming in all the time. And flying, his wolves won't be blocking it. We know Samuel doesn't have flying creatures in his deck, so he's probably just dead next turn. Another tractor's coming, number 7. That's 35 life.
Yeah.
He's only at 11. Speaking of which, that's a lot of damage Samuel did this game.
Yeah, because Mike Krasnitsky gained 30 life
Yeah, 30
this game. Can
plus
gain
20.
35 now.
Yep.
So Samuel actually put up a great fight, but he had everything he needed, but just all Mike drew were rights and flag tusks,
Yeah.
and it's enough. Yeah, so you're just asking about what...
He can centaur healer and flashback the rights,
Yeah,
so
so-
Halpack Alpha will actually flip back.
Oh dear, 30.
There we
yeah,
go. This
yeah.
is
So
enough.
38 life gains, plus 20, 58 life, and we saw Samuel actually trying. He did manage to take down a big chunk of that life, almost basically doing enough damage to kill 2 opponents.
2 opponents, no, not
Not
two,
enough.
Not 1 opponent with 17 track tusk.
Yeah. So Mike Krasnitsky takes down game 1 in these semifinals of Grand Prix Verona 2013 over Samuel Estrati here.
There we see.
Yeah, and we'll go to the other match here. Here we see Anders Nielsen finally with a smile. So he's through to the finals, beating out Jeremy Desani here. So we didn't catch anything of that match. Blazingly fast 2-0.
Black Red Zombies. Who
Black
would have
Red-
thought? I had Junt aggro, but the other one had Lotlo Troll, green, but Andreas Nielsen didn't need green.
Yeah, we talked about this, but in the past week, until the Wednesday, the Pillar Flame was bugged on Magic Online, meaning that it couldn't exile. It dealt the damage, but it didn't exile the cards. So Zombies made a comeback on Magic Online. But actually, like, Andreas Nielsen didn't get the memo that it got fixed. And did he maybe run the bug here and just evade it? What I think
don't
happened
so.
is people just stopped running Pillar Flame. What do you think about that?
There's certainly not a lot of Pillar of Flame. We can look at Jeremy Desani's deck list. There's a Pillar of Flame in the sideboard, but that's it. There's no Pillar of Flame main deck, as long as I can see.
Yeah,
No, just one in the sideboard. So he regretted that choice, but his list proved to be very well in the tournament. But to the semifinals, the Rakdos deck actually quite unusual
yeah, no.
for Vampire Nighthound main deck.
Yeah, we saw Black Red Zombies doing quite well in Grand Prix Bochum, where 2 players took it to the top 8.
Yeah,
one was
correct.
Thomas Vanick. So here we have the bracket. So finals will be Andreas Nielsen against the winner of Samuel Estrati against Mike Krasnitsky. And maybe Andreas Nielsen can avenge his fallen compatriots from Grand Prix Bochum and take the title here.
Yeah,
It would be a great upset, just because Andreas Nielsen was on 3 losses, and we all thought that 3 losses would not help get anyone into the top 8.
what is also great here, we've seen Gate Crash have a big influence onto the metagame. Andreas Nielsen, there's no Gate Crash card in his main deck, not a
No.
single one. There's no Gate Crash card in the main deck of Mike Krasnitsky neither. These guys went a few months back. Well, there is. Let's be
Lance.
honest. There's Lance.
Yeah, there's always Lance.
Apart from Lance, nothing from Gate Crash.
Surprising,
Yeah.
very surprising. I mean, Samuel certainly has a fair few of those.
Oh, yeah.
His deck is chock full of Gatecrash cards, so maybe he will try to, make the developers and in R&D proud and take Gatecrash to the title, and follow in the footsteps of Nico Christiansen from Quebec City. But he's down a game against Mike Krasnitsky, who actually can board in more removal.
More removal,
And
more
more
life
life
gain.
gain.
This time,
Oh.
Track Tusk, it's not gonna gain 5, it's gonna gain 10.
That's
Rock's
just
Fate Mender.
Ridiculous. Ew, Rock's Fate Mender. That's just gross.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Also, a great blocker in itself.
Great blocker. If once he gets this combo, there's no way out for Samuele.
Oh yeah, he'll be in rough shape. So yeah,
There we go.
yeah, those of you just tuning in, we're in the semi-finals of Grand Prix Verona 2013, standard format. 1,208 players down to 3, because we know Anders Nielsen is in the finals already. Finally putting up a smile. We've seen him play. he didn't show any emotion, just played the way you would absolutely expect zombies to be played. Just played the cards that are typical for
Eat brains.
Eat them brains. and swing with the Hell Riders like a rodeo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it again. Sorry.
No?
No.
All right. Viewers, you've missed out on a great Hell Rider impersonation by Morin Liber here just a few hours ago, maybe an hour ago or so, when Andreas Nielsen turned on his Hell Rider and swung together with it. Even Blood Artist entered the fray.
Yeah.
Pinged.
And then it died,
Yeah.
creating another trigger from itself. Ping again. Proved to be just enough.
Yeah. Let's not deny anything from Andreas Nielsen here. He actually beat Lukas Yukovsky when he was on 3 losses. He then beat Martin User to get to the top 8. Now also beating Jeremy Dezani.
He's been proving to himself to be
He's
a
doing
real
really well.
contender.
Yeah. Could he take the title home? Well, we'll see. First, we have the semis.
At this point I'm giving the act to Mike Krasnitsky because he's up a game. Well,
Interestingly enough, for those of you who were here for the past hour, we've seen your top 10 of standard decks, and the top 8 has actually been pretty in line from what we've seen. We have a Junk Reanimator, which was your first place, doing quite well. We also saw blue-white-red decks. We also see Naya Blitz.
Junt mid-range.
But Andreas Nielsen, he's on zombies. You did not expect that.
I had a zombie deck, but it was with green.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
A
see.
bit different, but yeah, let's get right into the match. Samuel Estrati, Pro Tour Philadelphia champion,
Both of these players mulliganing.
and mulligan from both players. So
They're teasing us.
they're teasing us.
Give
Yet
us some
they
magic.
don't want to start. I'm sure Samuel's mulligan will not stop him, and he will put up an aggressive start right off the bat.
We've seen him mulligan a lot of times this tournament.
Yeah.
It's just what the deck does. It's with 20 lands, you got a mulligan. We've seen it a lot, and he's been winning quite some games when he mulligan to 6.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't mind it. I mean, the synergy of his cards can provide really good value and go for a quick kill. However, we've seen Traktusk.
Traktus doesn't need synergy.
No,
It's good on its own.
very well said.
Well, it does need synergy with Umbrella Rights.
That's just value.
It's value.
Pure
Yeah,
value.
well, it's a bit synergy, like it dies, so I get a 3/3 and then I can reanimate. Well, I'll go for value.
Value.
Okay.
Pure value. It's card advantage
Card advantage and value.
and value and a good feeling. Oh dear, oh me. Those Traktusk. I mean, every standard tournament, you have to be prepared to deal with it.
Yeah, we've seen it for the last few months. Grumpy Bochum was owned by Martin Juza, who had Traktusk into his Junk Reanimator at that point.
He had it in sideboard though,
Yeah,
so he boarded
together with Restoration Angel and Angel of Serenity. This time the package was main deck.
it. Yeah.
This time going for the live gain because he needed some value, especially against Junt aggro and Junt mid-range.
Yeah, he switched it up.
Yeah,
And
so did Mike Krasnitsky.
Yeah. So Martin he's actually lost playing for probably top 8 there. He finished in 26th place. Just a quick rundown of the players who have just missed out. Bernhard Lehner in 9th place, losing to Tony Pascual Ramis when they both looked like they could draw in, but Tony denying that. And winning over Bernhard, shoving him into 9th place. Christophe Gregoire in 10th, Suchin Quo in 11th. And from the notable players also Marcelo Calveto in 19th, Robin Dolar from Slovenia in 20th, Stepan Sucic of Croatia in 22nd, Tomáš Vaněk of the Czech Republic 25th. He was running a spicy deck. He was on black, red, white. Martin Juza in 26th, Samuel Black 27th, and Bernd Brennemühl 31st, rounding out the top 32 here. Let's get back into the match.
Here we see the hand of Mike Krasnitsky.
Only one land.
One land, but two Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Is that enough?
Risky keep.
Very risky. Yeah, he has to mulligan this. He knows that even with a 5-lander, the cards like Mulch and Grizzly Salvage can get him what he needs. He cannot such a one Searing Spear, and basically it would be over
that's
because
true.
even Overgrown 2 into Avacyn's Pilgrim was not good with that hand. He had Angel of Serenity in his hand, and he couldn't even cast the Grizzly Salvage.
No, all these cards were too expensive or required black, so well, black and green. And
Yeah,
the Everson's Pilgrim gives white.
Yeah,
So.
I think he would have kept the hand if he had two Arbor Elves in place of two Everson's Pilgrim.
Still risky.
Still a risky keep, but on the draw, keepable.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Arbor Elves, it were Everson's Pilgrim, and he goes mulligan. So
Interestingly, they're playing 4 Everson's Pilgrim, 3 Arbor Elf, but Arbor Elf, it requires a forest. There's 4 Temple Garden, 4 Overgrown Tomb, and 3 forests. So if you don't have one of these 11, then you won't get to be able to use Arbor Elf.
yeah, big crowd watching, supporting their hero. Remember, we're in Italy. Samuele Strati, the best Italian player of the past 2 or 3 years.
Lives 200 kilometers from here.
Yeah, just round the corner, basically.
Basically.
2-hour drive, nothing to be scoffed at. And here, he wants to take the title home. This would be a great moment for him personally, and for Italy.
Yeah, for Italy. Like we've always seen Italian players. They're always cheering for their friends. And
Very passionate.
Yeah, they're very passionate. I've once played someone, and he was at that moment a big fan of Antonino Da Rosa.
Yeah.
Just was a hero of him, and he was. You see the crowd. We haven't seen this for a long time at the Grand Prix circuit. Most of the time, there's the top 8 happening, and then the others are just playing. Now, Italia is cheering up for his hometown boy.
Yeah, very, very good, and certainly a win for Samuele would spur on the community and solidify Italy as a great nation, and maybe add a Grand Prix win to his Pro Tour win from Philadelphia already.
And probably make sure he qualifies for the World Cup by going in first in the World Cup race, grabbing another 8 points by winning a Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe even Mike Krasnitsky. I don't know how many points his countrymen have.
That's the thing when you come from a smaller country which doesn't have many pro players. I think Mike Krasnitsky basically just grabbed the World Magic Cup slot by himself, getting to the semis here and going to San Diego.
Yeah, so you just top 4 one GP, you qualify for a Pro Tour, for the World Cup. That's amazing.
Yep, here we go, Clifftop Retreat from Samuele. And Arbor Elf from Mike, who actually can play a turn to Centaur Healer.
Solid hand again.
And also has a mulch, so maybe more Umbrella Rights shenanigans. Samuele follows up with Stomping Grounds.
No turn 1 from Samuel.
Turn 1. What does he have here? Flint Hoof Boar?
Yep.
Flint Hoof Boar. 3-3 solid.
Thanks to Stomping Ground being mounted. There we go, Centaur Healer.
Mike Krasnitsky on a very good draw here.
Especially considering the mulligan to 5.
Yeah. So, that Flint Hoof Boar matches up quite poorly against Centaur Healer.
Well, it will trade, but that's about it. There we see a hand.
Mayor. Lightning Mauler, Burning Tree Emissary. Quite an aggressive hand. Does he have a Steering Spear?
I don't see.
Is that a Boar's Wrecker? Maybe.
Maybe, could be. Maybe Flames of the Firebrand.
Maybe also.
Interesting card in Samuel Cyber. He expected quite some mirrors. Also a very good card in this matchup, just bringing down the elves and pinging your opponent for another 2.
Yeah, here comes the Flint Hoof Boar.
Snap block.
Snap block. Doesn't mind the trade there. With Mike down to 3 cards, he must feel pretty confident. So will we see Burning Tree Emissary into Mayor of Averbrook?
Correct, and then just play another land. Nope, thinking, should I? Yeah, it's a Flames of Firebrand in his hand.
Yeah, so maybe next turn shoot the elf.
Is he thinking?
He's not playing the land. Interestingly.
We've seen Samuel do it, like these kind of mini bluffs. We've seen him do it. Like we once saw him like grabbing a card, the Gorkland Rampager, thinking about playing it for 2 mana in his main phase, just signaling, I don't have the Gorkland Rampager, I'm holding something completely different, but then put it back in his hand.
Yeah, so now Mike Krasnitsky plays the mulch, gets the Sunpel Grove in that deal. But now,
there we
Cavern.
see Flames of the Firebrand or Lightning Mauler.
Yeah, it's for the Flames, so 1 damage to Elbrov, 2 to you, slow you down maybe a little bit.
Attack for 4.
Attack for 4. Mayor of Averbrook pumping up the Burning Tree Emissary, Mike down to 17. If Samuele draws a 2 mana or 1 mana human now, he can just pair it up with the lightning ball in his hand and crash in for a ton of damage.
And Mike doesn't have any business at this point. It just lands and unburied, right?
Yeah, but there's the Thrag Tusk. But now the Mayor flips, so it goes to 3-3. The Burning Tree Emissary loses his bonus.
Boros Elite, Lightning Mauler, Boros Elite, Soulbound. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
Will the Thrag Tusk be enough on the following turn?
I don't think so. But if he plays his 2 creatures, his hull pack is flipping again.
Yeah, but he will get a wolf at the end of the turn. The Mayor will pump up his humans. So
counting now. Can I survive? He's probably suspecting maybe Restoration Angel, but I don't think he can play around that.
No.
If he tries to not attack, then he's just gonna die to the long game.
But he knows that Restoration Angel would be very, very bad for him.
It would be devastating, but still he would get in some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. There we go. He's doing the math now. Can I attack? Can I stay back?
Yeah. These decisions seem really simple for us, where we see both players' hands.
Yeah, because we know there's no Restoration Angel, but it's still a very hard decision.
Yeah, and Samuel is a great player, and he knows that what would happen if the Restoration Angel did come down. Because it is a little bit suspicious passing with 4 mana up, not playing anything.
Yeah.
But Mike could just as well have Grizzly Salvage, or maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing, like we know.
Yeah.
Then he does have to see, like, if I don't attack now, am I going to win? Is there a chance that my whole pack will be strong enough? Probably won't be strong enough. I gotta go for it. I'm pretty sure he'll go for it.
Yeah, would crash in for a lot of damage there.
If he decides to go for it.
10 total.
10 total.
And if he has another burn spell on top, or something else, he might take it down. Yeah, so someone's still thinking. Yeah, so hey, we'll see how it goes. Boros Elite comes down for Samuele.
Lightning Mauler.
Add the Lightning Mauler.
Soulbound. Seems like Samuel is going for it.
Yeah. He has no choice, basically. If the Restoration Angel is there.
There he goes. What a perfect read. Does Samuel play? No. He doesn't know for sure.
Smash.
He's just guessing, but such a good read here.
Yeah, well, he knows he has to take the risk, basically. Yeah, and probably a big sigh of relief from him. End of the turn.
And the Mayor
now flips. Yep. Both players realize that.
Sure doesn't mind pumping his 3 humans.
Yeah, basically he lost 3 power, 2 from the Mayor and 1 from the pumping of the Wolf token, but got it right back by pumping the Burning Tree Emissary, Boros Elite.
Can he survive if he plays the Rock's Fate? No,
he has to go for the Embroidery Rites, yeah. Here goes the Thrag Tusk.
Goes up to 10.
This seems awfully familiar. Does Samuel have something?
It's only 9 damage, so Samuel is short 1 damage.
Experiment 1. Not what he wants right now.
His opponent is at 1. Close game.
Effectively at 1.
Which means his Mayor can attack. Like, no risk of losing the Mayor.
Yeah.
Probably block the Boros Elite. Yeah, 9 damage.
Wow, just one. Mike Krasinski is on 10 and not on 5, ladies and gentlemen. The life totals have not been updated yet, so Thrag Tusk basically has to block the best creature, which is Boros Elite. Could also block the Burning Tree Emissary. It's also a 3/3 or the Lightning Mauler.
Well, the Boros Elite is a 4/4.
It's a 4/4, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. It's spun by the Mayor Everbrook and the Battalion, so Mike doing the math. He now knows he has to block the Elite.
Yep. There you go. Go down to 1.
Go down to 1.
Put another Experiment 1.
Yeah, now a Beast gets into play. Now he's on 1, so the Thrag Tusk trigger definitely happened. We've been getting some mixed information here.
So seeing another Thrag Tusk this turn, going up to 6 with 2 blockers. No, he's dead.
Okay, so yeah, Thractus did resolve. Now if the Thractus comes into play, it would
Put him at 6,
put
but
him at 6.
he's dead on the counter attack.
Yeah, he would have to block.
Oh, he's not.
No, I don't think he is.
He can stay at 1.
Yeah, he would stay at 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he would stay in 1 and would trade off his creatures. Actually, the combat math is really hard on this one. Something more you would expect in a limited game,
Yeah.
but proving very, very worthwhile here.
Even last game, there was a lot of attacking, a lot of blocking. It's just this matchup with Thractus coming in, gaining life, just staying alive till I can finally survive and play my Rock's Fate Mender, hopefully.
Yeah.
There, he's counting now. Can I play my Rock's Fate Mender? Because if he blocks, the lifelink gains him 1, and it's also a blocker.
Yeah, but gaining, gaining 2 is certainly inferior to gaining 5.
Yeah.
Because you get the same blocker, and there's no other life gain tricks going on. So Mike just counting it out, making sure he doesn't make any mistakes. He will certainly go for the Unburial Rights because that's his only way of action.
Yeah.
And slowly try to trade off the creatures. But none of these blocks have in favor of.
Oh, he's
wow.
going for Grizzly Salvage.
Interesting.
Does he have another plan? Maybe
he thinks he needs
something else. Maybe
Angel Serenity.
Yeah, maybe he thinks Thractus is not enough.
Yeah, so he tries to go for probably go for
An
the
untapped
Cavern
land.
Souls. Yeah, untapped land.
Oh, there he goes. And now he can still play, yeah. That's why he played it before. He had an tapped land, a shock land in his hand, but with being at 1, he couldn't play it first. So he just went Grizzly Salvage first to get himself an untapped land.
Yeah, it could, because also if he had revealed Angel Serenity, he could have Unburial Rights that back,
Yeah.
get rid of 3 creatures, and suddenly the math looks completely different when he has 2 creatures to Samuel has 2.
I suspect him to cyber out Angel of Serenity though in this matchup. It's kind of slow.
Lightning Mauler,
Is it? That's enough.
pair up, evolve.
There we see 1-1. Deciding game.
They make sure to count the math, but
In 1 second, 1-1 maybe? There we
yeah.
go.
Swing, smash,
Attack.
and count, and scoop.
Yeah.
Samuel strategy evens it out. Hometown hero still has a shot.
Slower draw than he would have liked. No turn 1 drop, but still powerful enough.
Yeah, Mike Krasinski mulligan to 5 really catching up
Yeah.
on him right there.
And-
Even 2 Thractus were not enough in this game. He needs 6.
Samuel realized he couldn't play around the Restoration Angel. Had to go for it.
Yeah, he was out of cards and out of time, had to make something happen. And since Mike Krasnitsky did not have it, then a big cheer from the crowd just when Samuel won that game. The crowd chanting. Actually, there's some Ukrainian players chanting Misha, which I assume is the nickname for Mike. So they wanted to do well. Mike definitely, with some fans behind him. I was expecting the Italians to cheer.
Yeah.
But it's true that when there's a group of friends traveling, they're closer knit together than a group of, a lot of Italian fans where this is still not a football match. It's Magic the Gathering.
Well, I'm sure Samuel's friends are also looking there and
of
also
course.
cheering, but might be like, yeah, he's got a good matchup. I'm confident he can take this. No need for me to cheer.
Yeah, this is not only an issue of Magic result. They're not just playing for cash. Samuel is also playing for pride.
Yeah,
So
and maybe for the World Cup slot.
So here we go. The bracket. For those of you who have just tuned in, we'll recap the bracket quickly. Tony Ramis Pascual starting off on the top left with Humanimator, fell down to Samuel Estratis, Blitzful Naya in very quick fashion.
2 games, 2 very fast games.
2 blitzes.
2 blitzes.
I don't know if that's the pro, but let's say 2 blitzkrieks, because that's what it basically looked like. Just a ton of creatures on the board swarming Tony Ramis Pascual really fast. On the lower side of the bracket there, Shahar Shenahar lost out to Mike Krasnitsky, who is now playing against Samuel Estrati. Shahar having no shot against the value provided by
Nope.
Infinite Thractus and Restoration Angels.
Angel of Serenity, very good
Also,
matchup
yeah.
for the Junk Reanimator.
Especially for this version.
With so many value creatures, Angel of Serenity 3 times, 4 times Track Tusk, Lingering Souls if needed, Restoration Angel, Unburial Rites to get everything back. Been proving to be a very hard matchup for Junk.
Especially after sideboarding the Acidic Slime,
Yeah,
just proving so crucial. 4 copies, and just recurring Acidic Slimes has been seen to win a game.
and blinking with Restoration Angel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of neat shenanigans with Restoration Angel and Unburial Rites, which you can do. On the other side of the bracket, we saw Jeremy Desani beating out Max Schulze from Germany, so Jeremy Desani will not be able to take home another Grand Prix title here.
Blue, White, Red losing. Well, Jeremy just lost in his semi-finals.
Yeah, he did lose to Andreas Nielsen from Denmark, who first beat out Piotr Wald, and it's super aggressive Blue, White, Red deck without Revelation and Reckoners in his main deck.
Both Blue, White, Red decks losing in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that happens, but still 2 copies into the top 8. There weren't that many. There were a lot, but not as much as at the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Still 2 copies in the top 8. 2 different versions. Definitely something to look at and see
Yeah.
how this evolves.
Yeah, the big advantage of Blue White Red is it's very modular. You can add counters if you expect more meta, more control-ish meta game. You can have a lot of removal spells for the aggro decks. You can bring in a variety of hate cards for the decks you expect to face. So also very very interesting. But yeah, this time Andreas Nielsen and Jeremy Desani beating out the Blue White Red decks and. Meaning Andreas Nielsen is waiting for his final opponent, and that opponent will be found out in this game. Players are waiting for our signal. No? They're ready?
Seems like there's been a misunderstanding.
Okay, so the players are still talking, maybe. Oh, yeah, the
I think
judge-
there's been a problem with the shuffling or with the hand, but yeah, it seemed to be all right.
Yeah, just a small hiccup. And now both players starting out.
Samuel Noland, a quick mulligan.
Mulligan again.
Yeah, he's been mulliganing
And he's
1 out
even
of
winning,
2 games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Krasnitsky, if Mike keeps his 7,
We
and
haven't-
it's somewhat decent, then Samuel might be in trouble. But we've seen Samuel come back with 6 cards of doom. Mike keeps, Samuel mulligans.
Yeah. Well, we've seen him win a lot of times with even 5 cards. I've seen him win a game.
Yeah. Yeah, the deck looks really blisteringly fast, and it is.
Yeah.
But it does have a little bit of utility. Mayor of Averbrook providing crucial in game 1, almost getting him the win.
Yeah.
Game 2 also very instrumental.
Yeah.
Both sides very effective.
Yep. There we are back at the bracket. Like we said, Jeremy Desani just lost to Andreas Nielsen Ragdoll Zombies deck. The Ragdoll Zombies deck, something I didn't expect coming into it, but I can certainly understand the deck list. There's also solid creatures. Vampire Night Talk 4 times Geralt's Messenger, 4 times Aristocrat, 2 times Hellrider.
Yeah.
Just all value, not the blistering fast deck that like the Junt aggro deck. It's a little bit faster, but this one just goes for more consistency and more power.
Yeah, we've seen so many 3-color decks fizzle out on their mana.
Yeah.
You know, we saw Martin Newser not be able to get us through. We saw it throughout the weekend.
Yep.
3-color decks do work. You have a lot of dual lands and the M13 lands.
But sometimes you get punished.
Sometimes you draw the colorless land and it's not enough. So here we see this hand looks actually quite decent. If the Cavern of Souls, Clifftop Retreat, Frontline Medic, Boros Elite, Mayor of Averbrook, yeah, someone has to keep, and it's quite a solid hand.
It's fine, but the Clifftop Retreat will come into play tapped.
Yeah, that is a problem for Samuel. Yeah, so here we see Temple Garden into Arbor Elf, another Mayor.
Now he has to choose whether he puts his Clifftop Retreat tapped in play. Yeah, he does. Just make sure he will make his turn 2-drop. If he plays the Cavern of Souls, plays the Boros Elite, then he won't have a 2-drop if he doesn't draw a Pain land.
Yeah, we saw Mike actually did have trouble dealing with the Mayor of Averbrook. So yeah, mulch into a Temple Garden, milling 2 Abrupt Decays,
Yeah.
which would be quite good considering what we've seen. And untap.
Mike is running 4 Abrupt Decay. He knows he needs something to do in the early game.
Yeah, he has now 2 Angel of Serenity in his hand.
No, there's 1 Restoration Angel,
and 2 lands. So those, if Mayor of Averbrook, followed by Mayor of Averbrook. All right, so
Here we go, 2 creatures.
Experiment 1 and Boros Elite.
Another Restoration Angel for Mike.
Yeah, but now Samuel might not want to attack here.
No, now he's suspecting something. This time
He-
Mike didn't mulligan to 5, so there's no way he's attacking here.
So, champion of the parish?
Seems like it. That does mean he doesn't have a follow-up this turn, but he's still got a lot of you. There we go, checking the experiment one.
Yeah, it is a human. Can we play through Cavern of Souls? It's a human ooze, highly unusual, but the Simic have put this experiment upon us. So, and the human decks are reaping the rewards.
Yeah.
Mayor of Everbrook and passes the turn.
Yep, this time not
He-
falling for it.
Yeah, so here we see Angel, Restoration Angel, Centaur
Centaur
Healer.
Pretty good with the Restoration Angel in his hand. Angel of Serenity threatening to come out next turn already.
Wow, yeah.
That would be game.
Yeah.
We know there's nothing like Doomblade or Murder in the Naya deck, so he doesn't even attack there, Mike. I would have attacked there.
Doesn't need to.
Nope. He knows if I can get to 7 mana, Angel of Serenity is gonna win me the game.
Yeah, the problem is now, next turn the Angel is just so good once to get it into play. Exiling 3 creatures of Samuel is just so devastating.
Yep. And a 5/6 flyer.
Oh yeah. That can finish off the game all by its own, just swinging 4 times. Here it can be aided by more creatures. Yeah, Samuel really having trouble with the mana.
And here we actually see why the Junk Reanimator deck is so well positioned in this meta game. There are many aggressive decks, but they don't run burn. So your Arbor Elf and Evanston's Pilgrim, they survive. They let you accelerate into
Yeah.
powerful spells. There we see Cavern of Souls, Angel of Serenity coming down.
Yeah, Cavern, Angel, sweep up 3 of your best creatures.
Frontline Medic, Mayor, Experiment on, please. You can keep that Boros
yeah,
Elite.
swing for 6.
Swing for 6, and another Restoration Angel holding in his hand.
Does Samuel have anything to deal with this? Can he come back?
I don't think
He could
so.
have a Fiend Hunter, but he wouldn't board it in. Now Restoration Angel stays home. Mike Krasnitsky playing it very safe here.
There we see Mike's friend cheering. They know this game is pretty much going his way.
Yeah, so Mayor Everberg and Champion of the Parish. And now Mike draws a Lingering Souls.
Oh,
Still another Restoration Angel in his hand. He
another
can-
very strong card. Lingering Souls providing 4 blockers if needed.
Yeah, now Mike can attack without any impunity. That turn 5 Angel of Serenity, just basically one-sided Supreme Verdict, so to speak. It was uncounterable as well, thanks to the Cavern of Souls. So really mimicking one-sided Supreme Verdict there. Takes with all of his guys.
There we go.
Restoration Angel on the Centaur Healer. Here's the handshake. Samuel Estrati loses out to Mike Krasnitsky from Ukraine, who now makes it on to the finals and will face off against Anders Nielsen.
So maybe my top 10, I might be right. Junk Reanimator.
In the finals, there's the deck you tipped to be number 1 against the deck you didn't tip at all.
Yeah, but
So
I did.
win, lose.
I did have Junk mid-range, which just lost against the zombies deck.
Yeah, the Russians and the Ukrainians, loud with cheers, huge smiles on their faces. Those guys are here and cheering on. The most vocal of them being Valery Shunkov, a very known writer for Star City Games, vocal about the Russian community. And now we have the final upon our hands. Oh, you see a huge smile there on Mike's face. Wow, he must be really chuffed about that one. And now we'll face off against relentless black-red zombies, but we've seen him stop Naya Blitz now. I think he can stop the Reckless zombies, do you?
Yeah, he definitely can. With all this live gain, if he's gonna play another 7 Track Tusk, he can definitely win.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure hoping he is winning.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back. Last match to go here. I'm Matej Bixizalka here with Maren Liber. We've almost wrapped up the day. Almost. Just the
One
grand
more-
finals remaining.
One more match.
The winner takes home the title, takes home the pride, and takes home the trophy. And it's going to be a great match. We've seen Andreas Nielsen coming in from behind, upsetting several pros on the way to an X2 record, sneaking into the top 8, and now just has Mike Krasnitsky to beat. Very impressive. And Mike Krasnitsky, both players unknown to me, but very impressive on their play.
Yep.
Just not making any obvious mistakes that we've seen throughout the day. Very solid play, because this format is hard to play. We've seen there's so many decisions to be made.
Lots of blocks, lots of attacking, lots of decisions, like do I reanimate now, wait a turn.
Yeah.
Grizzly Salvage playing first, the Grizzly Salvage getting an untapped land seemed to be crucial in one of these games.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen also something you don't hear pro Magic players do often, but throughout the weekend, we've seen, between rounds, players, the professionals were like, nah, yeah, I won, but I didn't play well. And the players, it's good that they recognize their mistakes, but it shows that this format is very skill intensive.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on attending any World Magic Cup qualifiers or Pro Tour qualifiers, which are going to happen in the next few months, now is the best time to pick a deck and just start playing the hell out of it.
I know what I'm picking. I'm picking up Junk Reanimator.
Yeah, are you going to go to the WMCQs?
Of course I am.
Yeah, you want to represent Belgium?
I sure hope I will.
Yeah, so do I. I really want to represent my home country. It's a thing of pride. Of course, winning a Grand Prix title is also something to be very proud of. You're in the histories of Magic, and no one will take that away from you. But winning getting to the World Magic Cup with a few teammates representing your home country, also very important.
Yeah.
Let's see the players that have missed out on fighting for the pride and the title of Grand Prix Verona 2013 champion. Starting off with number 1 seed on the top left, Tony Ramis Pascual on Humanimator. Had a great record at 14-1-1, only one loss and a draw, but just couldn't hold down Samuel Estraki.
He came in first after a Swiss, but couldn't get past the quarterfinals. Happens.
Yeah, he did deny the draw on Bernard Lehner in the final round, managed to beat him, but then even being on the play in game 1 wasn't enough against Samuel Estrati, and the Naya Blitz deck took it down.
Yeah.
And then we saw on the same side of the bracket, Shahar Shenhar falling down to Mike Krasnitsky in two pretty convincing games.
We didn't get to see a lot of these games, but we know Junk Reanimator, so much value, Angel of Serenity, Track Tusk, just so solid in the Junt versus Junk matchup.
Shahar was really happy to make the top 8 because this top 8 means that with Martin Usa's the top 32, he's now ahead in the European European standings for pro points, because Stanislav Tivka is already qualified.
Oh yeah.
So that means that because Shahar Shenhar actually changes the location to Israel, which count in the Euro region. Now Shahar Shenhar is the number 1 for Europe, because the best pro player in Europe will make it in for sure. Martin Usa still has a ton of pro points, but if the top 8 of the following Pro Tour is full of players on 40-30 points, he might fall down a pecking order and not make it in.
Yeah, he was close to making top 8 in this term.
Very close.
Lost his last round, probably would have put him in 8th spot.
Yeah, and who did he lose to? Andres Nielsen.
Yeah.
Who is now in the finals. So, beating out the Czech pro player there. Moving on in the same bracket, we just saw Samuel Estrati losing out to Mike Krasnitsky, who moves on to the finals. 3 very interesting games. Track Tusks, Medics, Mayors.
We saw 7 Track Tusk game 1.
Yeah.
We saw 3 or 4 Track Tusk game 2. We saw Centaur Healer and Angel of Serenity on turn 5 in game 3. Just enough, just fast enough.
Yeah, Mike Krasnitsky did manage to get out the creatures fast enough, and we'll now face off the winner of the other bracket, where Andres Nielsen started off with a win against Piotr Wald. It's a bit unfortunate we didn't get to see the match on camera, because it would have been lightning fast. Andres Nielsen, super aggressive Fractal Zombies deck, Piotr Wald on a very innovative blue-white-red deck list, without Revelations and without Reckoners, but with Geist's main deck and 3 Thunderbolt
kind
upgrades.
Of remembers me of Delver. Like it's more of an aggressive blue-white-red deck trying to steal games with Geist of Saint Raft, and a lot of removal to back that up. You know, if your plan is to attack with Geist of Saint Raft, you know you just need to remove your opponent's blockers, and so he did.
Yeah.
He played a lot of removal, Searing Spear, Pillar of Flame. He had a lot going on.
Yeah, on the other side of that bracket, we also saw Jeremy Dizan beat Max Schulze with his blue-white-red decklist with Assemble the Legion, which were not enough to beat Jeremy, who was on great form, and I thought he was one of the favorites going into the top 8. But in the semis, Andreas Nielsen took no prisoners, and the 2 games were so fast, we didn't get to show you.
No, unfortunately,
nothing.
but happens.
Yeah, it does happen, but we have Andreas Nielsen of Denmark in the finals against Mike Krasnitsky of the Ukraine. What I really like about this top 8 is the variety of nationalities. We really 8 players, 8 different nationalities, and it's great to see.
Seven different decks.
Yeah, 7 different decks.
2 times Junt mid-range, Naya Blitz, Junk Reanimator, Black-Red Zombies, Human Reanimator, Blue-White-Red Control-ish, and Blue-White-Red Aggressive.
Yeah, we could easily separate the 2 blue-white reds into 2 separate archetypes because they were fundamentally different.
Yeah.
And they played out very different. We saw it throughout the weekend. Piotr demolishing people left and right, and his opponent just saying, oh yeah, his version is really good in the mirror match. Yeah. Because Geist the Saint Tread is really hard to deal with in game 1. And those Thunder Mohalkas just couldn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just... I've been seeing him kill opponents on turn 6. You don't expect that from blue-white-red.
Exactly, yeah.
And the choice of not running Sphinx Revelation proved to be very good against people bringing in slaughter games.
People bringing in negates,
yeah,
other cards. Yeah, so the grand finals will be starting off any minute now. The players are in the air shuffling up, so we'll move on there right fast. But let's just recap. We're before the final match. It's been a great weekend all around. Day 1 was one of the best day 1s from a pro player's perspective I have seen so far.
We had a lot of pro players, a lot of Reanimator. We were expecting Reanimator to show up at this tournament, and so it did. Yep. Most of the pros, they had something up in their sleeves. They had been preparing. Yep. Well, great day 1.
Yeah, great day 1, especially because there were so many good players on the top of the standings. Some of them fell down the pecking order throughout the day, but it still was great to see. If you just browse the players at X and 1, you had your Tsuchinko, Martin Yuza, Stanislav Tsivka, Shuhei Nakama. I could go on and on. Samuel Estrati was there as well.
Yeah.
One of the few of these who did manage to get to the top 8 out of these. But still, if you look at the other players in top 32, there are some really solid players. Just the top 16 there was also very, very solid.
But on day 2, they started to lose. They picked up a loss there, got paired against each other, lost again, then picked up another loss, and all of a sudden, we've got three very famous players and 5 kind of unknown people who were happy to be here, qualify for that Pro Tour. Some of them, like Max Schulze, qualified for his first Pro Tour. Very excited.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to get back a little bit on the not effective on day 2 because I was in Montreal not playing, I was watching, but I've seen it happen to at least 2 testing groups where on day 1 they put up a really good showing. Specifically talk about the Czech and Slovak testing group, as well as the French players who were on Wolfram Band.
Yeah.
Both of these groups had a terrific day 1. Most of them were on grade 6 and 2 records, some of them even better. We saw Melissa DeTora was undefeated.
Yeah.
But on day 2, both of these decks were just falling down, playing against each other a lot of the time as well, just because of the draws. And maybe I wonder if that's something that happened here. Once the players knew what Martin Yuza and the other pros are running, maybe they had a plan.
And also the people in day 2, they were better prepared. They had probably beaten already some Reanimator decks.
On day 1, yeah.
Yeah, they had some tricks up their sleeves. They knew how to play this matchup. The more you get into a tournament, the more you know how to play against a certain kind of deck.
Oh yeah.
So it just changes over time, and we will see this format change also. Like, will the Junk Reanimator still be good in 2 weeks now that everyone knows about it? We will see.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, definitely something to watch out for, just because the interesting fact here, like to take away from this tournament, is the fact that if you came in with too few graveyard removal spells, you were in trouble. If you had a decent amount, you could do really well. However, we see the Junk Reanimator deck winning through graveyard hate, just for pure value. We saw it happen so many times, just yeah, here's my Centaur Healer, here's my Thragtusk, here's my Restoration Angel, and here's my Angel of Serenity. Deal with it. I don't need to reanimate anything.
5/6 flying is enough. It's solid enough. It blocks anything, attacks for 5 in the air.
Yeah, so definitely come prepared to your next standard tournament with a few graveyard removal hate cards, but don't rely them on winning you the game.
Nope.
Because this is not modern, this is not legacy, where sometimes one of these spells can win you the game.
No, you need some backup, and you need to be able to beat those value Thragtusk and Crater Hoof Behemoth, Restoration Angel. These don't need a graveyard, so just need removal as well.
Yeah, especially because all of the decks would try to reanimate, came prepared. I don't think I've seen any reanimate deck without Abrupt Decays.
No, everyone's running 3 or 4. If it isn't to kill the Rest in Peace, then at least it will kill a Liliana or another fast creature.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, one other innovation from this tournament, maybe not only for the junk reanimated deck, Acidic Slime making a comeback.
We saw Brett Nelson talk about it in his article on Friday. He was like, 4 Acidic Slime, 4 Restoration Angel rips apart the control decks.
Oh yeah.
I got the land, Cavern of Souls. I put it on Ooze. Acidic Slime's not gonna get countered. I put another Cavern of Souls on my Angel. Put Angel into play, destroy yet another land.
Yeah, it's devastating, isn't it? I mean, really hard to come back from that kind of disadvantage. And also because the Acidic Slime proves a very good, versatile answer to a lot of annoying permanents we've seen through the weekend. Assemble the Legion, making a showing in blue-white red deck lists, main decks or sideboards.
Yeah.
Both. And Staff of Nin becoming a staple in Jund.
Yep. And the thing is, it's also a good blocker. It's got Death Touch. So it can block anything and kill it, except for a flying creature, of course.
Yeah, I think that's why we've seen so many blue-white red decks do well throughout the tournament, because Boris Reckoner has been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we go. Grand Prix Verona finals here in wonderful Italy. Andreas Nielsen from Denmark on the left against Mike Krasnitsky from the Ukraine. Andreas Nielsen keeps. Yeah, so Andreas Nielsen keeps. Mike Krasnitsky has lands, has healers,
Arbor
has
Elf,
salvages.
Grizzly Salvage, perfect hand.
So, will we see him keep? Yeah. Definitely has to keep there. Yeah, and Mike Krasnitsky's advantage of being higher up in the scene makes him play first. And here we go, finals of Grand Prix Verona. Winner takes home the trophy. Arbor Elf from Mike Krasnitsky to Diagraph Goo from Andreas Nielsen.
Two 1-ups, the one aiming to accelerate, the other aiming to attack. There we go, Centaur Healer. The Diagraph Ghoul not looking very good at this point.
Nope, and we see a Restoration Angel in his hand, and okay, we got a confirmation that actually it's not Andreas Nielsen, it's Andreas Nilsson. So this is the correct way to write it. So you might see it wrong on the daily MTG page, which you should check out. But quickly, Searing Spear takes out the Centaur Healer before any shenanigans can happen.
Shenanigans? Do you mean Restoration Angel?
Yes, that's what I mean.
There we go. Oh.
But I think there's some shenanigans might still happen here. Mike Krasnitsky plays the land, passes the turn.
We will see. Does Andreas smell the Restoration Angel, or does he go for it? We've seen Estradi keep back some creatures because he didn't want to lose his creature to Restoration Angel.
Yeah, if Andreas has a Drought Messenger or another creature which can advance his board fast, he might even decline the attack here.
Yeah, but he's definitely thinking about it. These guys have seen each other's deck list. They know there's 4 copies of Restoration Angel in the deck. So how many cards do you have? Let's see,
4 cards.
1 Restoration, 3 cards, or 4 other cards. You gotta think about it.
You see the hand is very spicy. We see Vampire Nighthawk, Thundermaw Hellkite, Blood Artist, and Jorel's Messenger. So very solid hand there from Andreas there.
Here we go.
Goes for the Cavern on Zombie. Messenger tapped. Mike down to 17. Will we see the attack here? This really reminds me as if Mike Krasnitsky was playing Islands. You know, does he have the Angel? Well, okay, if he doesn't, he can Grizzly salvage.
Yeah.
If Andreas passes the turn, Mike will just happily, Grizzly salvage is enough. I don't need to play the Angel now.
He probably played the. Well, he's holding Tractus, so.
Andreas passes the turn.
Yeah, now he gets
Well
Grizzly
played.
salvage. Well played, but it will also mean the Tractus can get blinked within 2 turns.
True. Here we see Grizzly salvage revealing Angel of Serenity, Thragtusk, Godless Shrine, another land, as well as a Restoration Angel. So we see the Thragtusk.
That's number 2 in his hand.
Yeah, so now the graveyard is already stacked full. If Mike draws an Unburial Rites in any of the following turns.
Take 2 from Temple Garden, gain 5 from Thragtusk.
Yeah, now this is exactly the play that Mike wanted to do, just because this will give him enough time to maybe draw the Unburial Rites and put the game...
Just like we saw last game.
Yeah.
Last match against Samuel, he was just chaining Thragtusk.
Yeah. I mean, Andres certainly not out of it yet. He still has a Thundermaw Hellcat, which beats him for 5 very nicely.
And it's the advantage of his deck list that he's running a lot of just value creatures. Thundermaw Hellcat we saw in his hand. He's also running Falconrod Aristocrat 4 times, so he can definitely come back. Even Vampire Nighthawk pairs up well because he can keep attacking. It has flying, gains him 2 in the progress.
Yeah, they're pretty decent there. Plays also a tapped land in addition, and now Mike with 17 life.
2 Restoration Angels in his hand.
And another Thragtusk. His hand has value written all over it.
Yeah, just like we saw in game 1 against Estradi. He's probably going to attack here. He's got another Thragtusk, just gonna play it game 5, getting his opponent down to 15 or blocking. Is Andreas thinking about blocking? Seems like he is. Probably aware of the fact that Restoration Angel can blink it, so if he blocks it now,
then the Nighthawk survives.
Of course he doesn't know about the second one, but
yeah,
that's a risk. Well, he doesn't block, doesn't feel like it's worth it.
He has another Vampire Nighthawk in his hand. Yeah, there's the Restoration Angel, blinks out Thragtusk. Mike up to 22, Andreas down to 15 and facing down a big bunch of creatures.
Good choice from Mike to do it right away now. The Restoration Angel, no need to wait for your opponent's turn, because then it might die to Searing Spear or Tragic Slip or something similar.
Yeah, Mike also has an Avacyn's Pilgrim, further solidifying his mana base there. Maybe getting ready for a nice Crater Hoof.
There it is.
That's what I wanted to say. And also Angel of Serenity from his hand, but Unburial Rites would be enough for that. So let's see what Andreas has here.
Knight of Infamy. Yeah.
Knight of Infamy.
With the Exalted, Vampire Nighthawk can now attack for 3, gain 3 in the process, and survive the block from Restoration Angel.
Yeah, and gains the life in the process. Whenever a creature dies, Blood Artist will be there to pick up the pieces. So attack with Nighthawk for 3. Andreas up to 18, Mike down to 19.
This game can go either way.
It can take a long time.
Yeah.
Players with a lot of value, but it's definitely favoring Mike Krasnitsky in long term. But anything can happen here, especially because we saw the Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah, then there's no Angel of Serenity yet in Mike's hand, so as long as he doesn't draw an Angel of Serenity, he might still lose this game.
Yeah, there's probably a small discrepancy in life totals there. It seems like Mike didn't notice the Exalted, but Andreas made sure to point it out. And with the new trigger rules, he doesn't have to announce it until the damage is dealt.
Yeah.
Because it's a non-visual trigger. So yeah. So life totals check. The judge is there to make sure that life totals are correct.
There we go. Another Thragtusk, or maybe something else.
Maybe another Restoration Angel.
There we see all these powerful creatures.
Oh yeah.
It's actually, this is the tournament where good creatures come above aggressive creatures. Like we saw Samuel Estradi being the only very, very aggressive deck, but even the Black-Red Zombies is playing mostly value creatures.
Yeah, it does have a lot of value creatures there. And now we saw Mulch getting 2 lands and milling another Thragtusk and another Restoration Angel. So these cards are like glued together.
And thanks to Arbor Elf and ever since Pilgrim, he can still play his own Track Tusk. Is that Angel of Serenity in his hand?
It is. Wow.
So next turn he's gonna remove all these little
so
annoying zombies and Vampire Nighthawk.
Yeah, so it's not a Restoration Angel in his hand, it's an Angel of Serenity. Next turn will be very painful for Andreas Nielsen.
There we
and
go.
There's so many ways he could also go about playing it. Exiling his opponent's creatures, maybe exiling his own other Angel of Serenity and some other creatures. He can go for a lot of value here.
Yeah.
And we see Mike attacking with his 3/3 Beast token and his 3/4 Angel, and the Messenger will trade with the Beast.
There we go.
And
Take 3, Blood Art is gonna trigger.
Twice. The Gerald's Messenger should be going back.
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, we'll just wait for the dust to settle and all the
Now
triggers to resolve.
Lose 2. Put you at 15.
Yeah, whatever. Here's my Thragtusk. Deal with it. Wow. The Beast Army.
There we go. Zombies against beasts and angels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so again, life totals check. Making sure everything's
Mike's
correct.
at 20, Andreas at 15.
I believe he wrote down 17, so we'll,
Yep, there we go.
17, correct. It's insane that there's already been 15 life gained by Mike, I believe. Yeah, 2 Thragtusk and 1 Blink.
But he
It's
still has 20.
Here's the Hellkite.
Oh, Hellkites.
Yeah, Andreas is trying to advance his game plan a little bit here.
Still looking down 2 5/3s and an angel. Angel of Serenity coming down next turn. Not looking too good for Andreas here.
Oh yeah. Swings with the Hellkite, swings with the Messenger,
Yeah, Messenger can
also
attack
the
now.
Nighthawk. Yeah, the Messenger can trade with a Thragtusk and gain him a bunch of life thanks to the Blood Artist. So yeah, swing with the 3 creatures.
Now Mike's got a thing. Maybe he can actually kill Andreas with the Angel of Serenity, and well,
If he doesn't, yeah.
well, he's only 13 damage if he doesn't block, so it's not enough. Andreas still at 17.
Yeah, with a land plate, that could be 14 damage if an elf would have joined, but
Yeah, that's still not 17.
yeah,
so
and that actually, the Angel of Serenity cannot exile the Knight of Infamy
No.
because of protection from white. So I'm certain he will be looking at exiling the
Thunderhawk,
Blood Artist,
Hellkites.
maybe Blood Artist as well.
Yeah, and the Vampire Nighthawk. Just then his Angel of Serenity will lift when it's attacking.
Yep. And or as I said, he might just go for value and just exile the 3 creatures in his graveyard and trade with anything.
Well, he could do that, but I'm pretty sure Andreas just wouldn't attack anymore at that point. And then he kind of denied himself a good time to get ahead on the board. And
Yep. So the Drell's Messenger trades with the Thragtusk. Blood Artist triggers happen. Mike down to 13 now. Andreas up to 21.
yeah, both these players gaining a bunch of life, staying
yeah.
alive.
So 21-11. What does Mike offer up?
Hoof.
Behemoth?
Is it enough? With Andreas being tapped out, his +6/+6. Yeah, this is enough.
+6/+6. So
And trample.
9/9 Beast.
Yeah, this is
9/10 Angel. A huge Thragtusk with 11 power.
All of them have trample. Let me count this.
Yeah.
Well, he will figure it out. This is just enough.
Yeah, let's try to figure it out as well. So if he plays land and uses both of his elves, so that's 9 damage from the Beast, 9 damage from the Angel, that's 18, plus 11 from the Thragtusk. That's already 11 extra.
18, 29.
29 plus Behemoth.
There we have it.
It's 40 damage.
Yep, and
so
-4, that's not enough. Yep, there we go. I got to
yeah,
kill Behemoth. Hoof, there it is.
Attacking for 40 trampling damage. Can you deal with this?
I don't think so. Can a 2/2, a 2/1, and a 0/1 deal with this? I don't think so.
No amount of protection from white will help you here. No matter the Blood Artist triggers won't help you here.
Did you announce the +5 +6/+6? Yeah, this is enough.
Yeah, you did. I'm gonna scoop up my card. That's what's going through Andreas Nilsson's head. Mike Krasnitsky takes game 1 of Grand Prix Verona finals with a very convincing hoof. There it is.
Yeah, and once again he was already at 9 life despite costing so many track tusk.
Yeah.
It's just insane. He's been gaining 30 life every game in this top 8, and he's still ending up at just single digits.
It's ridiculous, and we see Andreas immediately reaching up to his sideboard there for some Ragdos charms, some bonfires, and Mark of Mutinies.
Yeah,
interesting.
But now once again Rock's Fatemen are coming in. Acidic Slime might come in against this deck, yeah, maybe to get rid of the extra mountains, because you know there's not that many red sources in the deck.
Yeah. Rich is trying to make us go through the last few games here. We've already been at work so hard for the past 2 days.
Let me wake you up. Come on.
I'm up. I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
One more game, hopefully 2.
Hopefully 2.
Yeah.
I want to see more magic.
Yeah, we haven't had enough. Come on, give us some more track task, but wait 1 game. Maybe Hellrider? Give us some Hellrider. This time, come on, Hellrider.
If Hellrider wins this GP, Moraine will show you the Hellrider move.
I can't promise.
Live on camera.
I will only do it if Rich does it as well. I will teach you. I will teach you.
Yeah, Rich doesn't proclaims to not know what the Hellrider move is, but he'll learn soon enough.
Yeah, if Hellrider wins this GP, he will learn.
But for that to happen, Andreas needs to overcome Mike.
Track tasks.
All the track tests in the world, angels and beasts.
Yeah.
And has 2 games to make it happen here for him. So
yeah, he gotta come back from a 0-1. He's on the playing game 2, but he will be on the draw if it comes to game 3. So definitely in a tough position, but he can still do it. We've seen his deck being very powerful. He's beaten Lukas Jakowski. He's beaten this
matchup. Yeah, he knows how to beat these players, and with the added
he's
sideboard
beaten Martin Yuza as well. Same matchup, and he's been wrapping them apart.
Yeah, I think he has what it takes, but he probably has to think about how he wants to sideboard, how he wants to approach this matchup, and what is his plan.
Yep.
We saw a Ragdos charm, but we also saw the Bonfire of the Dam, which actually could prove quite effective, because even late game, you can just sweep up the Thragtusk or some of the beasts and gain a significant advantage on the board, because the board did look quite clogged up right now.
Yep.
Until the Hoof arrived, at least.
Yeah, the Hoof or Angel of Serenity. So you can't wait too long against this junk reanimator deck. You gotta make sure that you kill him in time before he just gets all of these values Thragtusk ends up. So what he's looking for this game, just a fast start, Diagraph Ghoul, Knight of Infamy, hopefully Geralt's Messenger, and then just one of his 2 haste creatures.
Yeah, that's certainly his plan.
And the advantage is he has played this matchup a few times during the tournaments. He knows that he can overcome all of this life gain.
Yeah, and he knows that he's already played this matchup a fair few times, so he knows which cards were affected and which were not.
Yeah.
And Mike Krasnitsky has most likely does not have this advantage to his play. If he had played against the Black-Red Zombies, most likely on day 1, but we've seen very few on day 2 on the top tables or even on the back tables.
We haven't seen a lot of them.
So maybe he's not exactly sure how he wants to approach this.
And how he wants to set. Does he wants to bring Abrupt Decay? I'm not sure if it's the right choice in this matchup.
Yeah, Deathrite Charmer will most likely make an appearance, just because it's also pretty good in exiling the Grave Crawlers, the Gerald's Messengers with the Undying trigger on the
There we see part of his sideboarding. We saw he took out 2 Umbrella Rides, 2 Angels, 1 Crater Hoof Behemoth, puts in another Angel. Yeah, these Angels have been very good for him. Yeah. It's hard to sideboard them out.
And I just really like Angel of Serenity. It's such a great card. Because it has so much utility, and in this matchup specifically, he can either basically one-sided wrath the board, as we've seen against Samuel Estrati, just exile 3 of your creatures, or he can go the defensive way and he'll exile 3 creatures in his own graveyard.
Yeah, if his
if his 5/6 ever dies,
He's
he'll
getting
get them back. And
yeah.
but what does a 5/6 flyer have to be scared of? He can just start attacking with it.
Yeah.
Want to block with Vampire Nighthawk? I'll get my cards back.
Yeah,
You
correct.
don't block it, you take 5. And Andreas Nielsen can take 5 only so many times.
Such a great card. It's without this card, the deck wouldn't exist. Like Junk Reanimator wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, it would because it would lose the edge it has over John, which has been such a strong part of the metagame here. Even on day 2, there's been a lot of junk, a lot of blue, white, red, and those angels against both of these decks are exactly what you want.
Yep, exactly. Especially backed up by Cavern of Souls against the blue, white, red deck. No countering my angel. Sorry, I'm getting back 3 of my creatures.
Yeah, Mike does run 2 Cavern of Souls.
Yep.
We've seen Sam Black run 1. We've seen Martin Yuza and Lucas Yukovsky and their playgroup. I believe they were playing 2 in the main deck, 1 more in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Against the counter heavy decks.
Against the counter heavy decks, also on Ooze for Acidic Slime. Very, very good card.
Yeah.
Cavern of Souls been in almost all the decks. So we see Rakdos Zombies, also Cavern of Souls. We see Estradi, he had Cavern of Souls. There's just so many Cavern of Souls in all these decks. It's just the fixing you need to get your 3-color, sometimes even 4-color deck to work.
It is it's also an integral part of the human reanimated deck. We've seen Tony Ramis Pascual getting to the top 8 with, and also Joel Kalfeld play the top tables. But Suchinko, also on Human Reanimated, also on Cavern of Souls. If there's one card to pick up, it's the rare from Avacyn Restored.
Yeah, it's definitely Cavern of Souls. 4 decks out of the top 8 played Cavern of Souls. The other ones trying to counter things, but that didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
They got demolished in the quarterfinals.
I'm definitely expecting Cavern of Souls to be very much in demand after this tournament. And if you don't have your copies yet, you should probably get them because they go in a lot of decks.
Yep.
So here we go. Play shuffle it up in full focus. No show of emotions from either player.
They're already happy being in the grand final.
I'm sure both players are really happy to go to San Diego already in
too.
May. And here we go. Game 2 of the finals here at Grand Prix Verona 2013. Andreas Nielsen.
Already a solid hand, looking for a haste creature maybe, or another Knight of Infamy.
Yeah, a solid start from Andreas.
Not bad. Not
Mike.
Exactly what he needs, but still solid.
He has lands, he has spells.
2-drop, 3-drop.
Yeah, Knight of Infamy, not that bad actually on offense.
No, in this matchup it's actually quite good because it can attack through a Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
It can attack through a Centaur Healer. It can attack through the Lingering Souls tokens. So
yeah, definitely matches up quite poorly against Thragtusk though.
yeah, sure, but Thragtusk usually turn 4. By that time you've already taken 2 hits.
Yep.
So still very decent.
Right, so Mike Krasinski mulliganing in this game, going down to 6 on the draw. His deck can easily recover from these mulligans, as we've seen before. Sometimes 1 mulch and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, 1 mulch, you can hit as many as 4 lands and then you're right there back in the game. Or even Grizzly Salvage, get himself a Thragtusk and an Burial Rites into his graveyard. He's up a card again.
Yep, absolutely. So now, Mike still shuffling up his cards. Both players calm and collected. Mike Krasinski 1 game away from taking home the title.
I'm sure.
Taking home the title for the Ukraine,
Yeah, I'm
which
sure.
is highly unusual.
I'm sure his friends are so excited to watch this game.
Yeah, the Ukrainian-Russian contingent, very tight-knit group. When they go to the Pro Tours, they spend a lot of time together. Now Mike Krasinski, 1 additional person to travel with the Russian and Ukrainian PDQ winners for the Pro Tour in the Dragon's Maze in San Diego. Now we see...
Here we see 2 lands, mulch, Grizzly Salvage, Thragtusk, Crux, Fate Manor. This is decent. This might be enough actually, because Andreas' hand isn't blistering fast like the Naya deck.
No 1-drop from Andreas Nielsen. Mike Krasinski now with Overgrown Tomb. Andreas will add a Knight of Infamy.
Yeah. Geralt Messenger next turn probably.
Yeah, here's the Knight of Infamy. Mike draws It's a Woodland Cemetery,
Another
so
land. It's fine to draw lands at this point because he needs to get to 5 for his Tractor.
he also needs a white mana fairly soon. He did draw a Restoration Angel,
Here we
so
go.
he starts with the mulch.
Hit a white source, perfect, 3
Wow.
lands. So mulligan to 5, I don't care. Mulch, hit 3
Yeah,
lands.
that's what we've been saying.
Actually might have to discard here. Yeah, he has to discard one of these lands.
Yeah, he just has too many, but I'm sure he has a lot of black-green lands, so moves on to the discard phase, gets
we
rid
go.
of 1 land, and making the mulligan with ease.
Yep.
Now,
That's just the power of mulch in this deck. Like, even if you don't hit lands, you can hit creatures, which you can reanimate. It's such a good card, mulch.
yeah, hit Lingering Souls, that's been a play in set some time now, so here we see